Today, the biggest game online is about stealing memes from children or something. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint.
Usually there's a joke or setup there. That wasn't funny at all.
Well, you're going to want to upgrade your joke reception systems.
No, you should make sure your jokes are optimized for any viewing experience.
Look, these are premium jokes for premium gamers. So if you want to try and run monster truck jokes on a lawnmower engine, you're going to be disappointed.
Is this an extended Randy Pitchford illusion?
I don't think he does illusions. He's more into close-up magic. Quick, what was the biggest game last week? No, it wasn't Silksong. It wasn't even any of the usual suspects either. Not Call of Duty or FIFA or even the highly anticipated Professor Pigglesworth's Gotcha Party Machine. No, it was Steal a Brainrot, the game filled with culturally known phrases and characters, or as they used to be called, memes, or as they are apparently called now, Brainrot, which used to only mean certain kinds of memes, but we live in a world where things don't matter anymore, so who cares? Anyway, this is a curious one because it's not a standalone game, but yes, another piece of user-generated content originally introduced to pedophile hellscape Roblox and more recently added to Fortnite, but in a shocking twist, added by people who licensed the concept from the original Roblox community creator, so at least that wasn't stolen. Unlike the brain rots, those you're supposed to steal. You can collect random originals, but the thrill is in the theft as you race off into the night, some demoralized child's brain rot in tow. You know, classics like Ballerina Cappuccina, or Tung 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 Sahur, or any number of other horrid generative AI characters. But actually not Tung 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 Sahur, because he was just yesterday removed from the game in the midst of a potential licensing dispute between Steal a Brainrot developers and Mementum Labs, who represent the owner of 23 million concurrent players across Roblox and Fortnite. I don't know what life will be like for children raised in this endless churn of post irony, absurdist self-reference, but I hope I am still alive to see whatever makes kids today say kids today.
Last week, thousands of Nepalese people took to the streets to protest corruption in their government, and within a few short days, their prime minister had resigned and the country announced their new interim leader had been elected on Discord. Nepal is a young democracy ruled by a monarch until 2008, and the protesters who led this month's uprising were also predominantly young. The Discord server where the vote was held is called Youths Against Corruption and offers the server tag Gen Z. The server bio reads, "For too long, corruption has stolen our future, stolen our dreams, and stolen the dignity of our nation." But frankly, that could be any server bio these days. Anyhow, the mood in Nepal had been stewing for a while because of all the obvious wealth the country's elected representatives were flaunting. In a country where the average person struggles with high unemployment and inflation while getting a meager amount from public aid, it was a bit rich to see the children of elected officials posting about their glamorous lifestyles on social media, especially when everything you saw in their "Get Ready With Me on My Vacation to Dubai" and brand name try-on haul videos was paid for with public money. So the youth took to aggressively reposting these videos and using the hashtag #NepoBaby. And then on September 4th, the Nepalese government ordered the shutdown of 26 social media platforms in the country as a response to the targeted reposts and attention their Nepo babies were receiving. This led to massive protests in Kathmandu on September 8th and 9th, all of which were met with a brutal police crackdown that led to the deaths of at least 51 protesters. But the people persevered and the prime minister resigned and, fled to a bunker on September 9th. At that point, the Discord server that had been organizing the protest held a town hall meeting and a poll to decide who to install as interim leader, which is very impressive and makes me honestly feel like I could be using Discord a lot more productively. For example, at 3 a.m. on September 10th, Youths Against Corruption posted a poll titled "Who Now?" with the 5 names that had been chosen at the town hall meeting, the exact same time that I posted "When are they going to print Mrs. Yargle?" in the MTG Writers Discord. Later that morning, while Youths Against Corruption was meeting with the Nepalese army to tell them who they'd elected as the country's new leader, I was posting "Need a fifth for Valorant" on 4 different servers. By the way, the Youth Against Corruption choice and the new prime minister, it's Chief Justice Sushila Karki, the first woman ever to leave the country. So congratulations, Nepal. We can tell how happy and excited you are by the rich display of reaction options tucked under your post.
It's a fact that every generation redefines sex to encompass the social mores of their times. Boomers gave handjobs at drive-in movie theaters. Gen X had parking lots behind the Denny's. Hell, even the greatest generation got ass at the old 23 skidoo. So it's not surprising to see Zoomer flirting crop up on daytime television. It's just surprising how. In this scene from soap opera Days of Our Lives, young Aaron makes a proposition to sweet Ariana to, quote, come play Xenoblade on my Switch, as a pretext to inviting her into his dorm room while she's hanging out. And she's into it, which is weird, because Xenoblade is single player. And it's a JRPG, so she could be waiting for days. Either this boy has enough riz out the ass to curl his hair, or that girl was down sick for his baby bird body. Like, I know Days of Our Lives has spent 61 seasons dabbling in the most unrealistic shit. For example, I think Bo has been his own twin or returned from the dead at least 6 times. But I cannot imagine the allure of Xenoblade being enough to pull Strange in the dorms. I'm 99% the writer desperately wanted to have him ask her, wanna smash, but knew that the network censors wouldn't allow that in the middle of the afternoon, so they went with the next best thing. Hey, wanna come up to my place and see an amiibo of my Shulk? Cannot wait for my daughter to get to college.
Modern software engineer John Fonseca has used an LLM to inject dynamic dialogue into 2002's Animal Crossing. Why? Light amusement, I guess. In a blog post and video, Fonseca detailed the steps used to connect the 23-year-old GameCube title to the annihilating hellmouth of an LLM in order to generate new villager dialogue. Without modifying any of the game's original code, Fonseca identified the memory addresses where active dialogue was stored, parsed the game's scripting syntax, and then used 2 LLMs, one a creative writer and the other a technical director, to generate replacement dialogue reflecting villagers' personality and mood. Fonseca then incorporated a news feed that included Fox News, so dialogue would reflect current events, and prompted the model to insert feelings of financial exploitation by Tom Nook. The results? Villagers that were randomly hostile or aggressive, who celebrated Trump's stamina while fearing crime in blue cities, and who expressed anxiety, anger, and depression over their finances while being helpless to actually change their circumstances. It's an honestly incredible emulation of Facebook, considering the GameCube only has 24 megabytes of memory, and whatever resources were guzzled by those LLMs. So cool hack! Plus 10 points for creativity and reasoning, minus several million for staging Paradise Lost on a GameCube. Sherry doesn't have a bank account. She's a little bear. She shouldn't know what a FICO score is. Cookie shouldn't be scared of visiting Chicago. And you can't hook a lazy cat up to Fox News. The island hasn't given him the life experiences necessary to develop the moral and ethical model that will protect his tiny psyche. Also, controversial opinion time, but Tom Nook offers you loans with 0 interest and no maturity date. You never have to pay him back unless you want to build a bigger house, and I think that's fair. So what should we ruin next? Can we get Peppy Hare being evasive about his whereabouts on January 6th? Ridley suggesting that bleach cures Metroids? Is Pikachu gonna rank the intelligence of all the other Gen 3 Pokemon based on cranial volume? You hooked up an LLM to Animal Crossing and now Cherry wants to kick your ass. And that's not a fun hack, it's just a metaphor.
I can't imagine intentionally bringing real-world events to such a cozy game. What's next, tariffs in Minecraft?
Well, the Nether did recently say they were going to stop importing overworld timber.
Damn it.
Coming up, Balatro creator Local Thunk has slowed down development of the next update as they're trying to recover from burnout. They say it'll be done when it's done, and yet I haven't even unlocked the Golden Needle challenge yet. I feel like this game is nearly perfect. I don't even know what you could add to it.
Yeah, I don't even know what you would update.
What would you add to Balatro aside from broken jokers?
Full frontal.
More jokers, I think, is the...
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
more jokers.
Yeah, more jokers, but like some of them...
Isn't the number of jokers that are in the game only because there was like some piece of marketing that was like 150 jokers, and Local Thunk was like, I only made 120. Well, guess I'll just make 30 more jokers. Like, isn't that... those numbers are wrong, but didn't that happen?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just play Balatro. I don't know the lore.
That's true. I'm not up to speed on my Commedia dell'arte. Days of Our Lives, young Aaron. Stories this week. Cameron wrote about the LLM in Animal Crossing.
Yep. And Nelson wrote about Nepal's political uprising.
Discord election. Very cool.
Yep.
And Beej wrote about the sex. what the Xenoblade?
Beej wrote about sex.
Weird, hey? Yeah, the Xenoblade. You should watch the scene with the dialogue.
It was. I overheard the dialogue, and it was so awkward.
He's like, "Yeah, you want to come and play Xenoblade on my Switch?" And she's like, "Yeah." Like, she clearly doesn't know what that is, but it's like, "I want to go into your dorm room, though, I guess." Xenoblade is such an unusual pull.
That's
for a game that does not work for this.
No,
right?
I think what this is that somebody on the writing team is a huge fan of Xenoblade Chronicles, and this is them getting their OC in.
Yeah,
right.
I think so too.
Like, because the game is old, it's not multiplayer, it's probably not a game a lot of people have even heard of. Mm-hmm. So, like, you just slip a Fortnite in there, and it would be fine. So, good job, Xenoblade fan.
Yeah. And I wrote about Steal a Brainrot because I was like, well, I mean, you can't get more culturally relevant than 23 million concurrent players. And then we also referenced in the opening there, I wrote about Randy Pitchford's... like he's approaching it from a position of trying to be helpful. On his Twitter, people are like, my Borderlands 4 runs like crap. And he's like... okay, well, what system are you running? Because we have all the minimum specs. And people are like, you should optimize it better. And then he's like, no, your system...
you don't need the minimum specs. It's not going to run well.
Your system shouldn't be ass, bro. Like, the thing is, he's like trying to be helpful, but he's also...
being Randy Pitchford?
Just everything he says sounds condescending.
Have you met Randy Pitchford?
I have, actually.
Yeah, how was he in person?
Yeah. a little condescending. If I'm honest. Yeah. So it's just very, very silly that it's like, I mean, this is of course the game that was prefaced with like, well, yeah, it's expensive, but true fans will find a way. And now he's like, this is a premium game for premium gamers. And it's like, apparently, so that's for PC, right? But on console, that shouldn't be a problem, right? It should just run on console.
Yeah.
But there's some sort of like memory leak issue where if you play it for extended periods on console, the performance gets progressively worse.
When you said that, the computer in the corner just suddenly went red around the bottom and like woke up.
Like it's angry?
Yeah, it was like, I don't have a memory leak. Don't accuse me of that. That's like, I wasn't even talking to you, computer.
So yeah, the Randy's solution for that was
get good
get
good memory or get good graphics card.
No, for the console one, his solution was stop playing and then turn it back on again. It was like turn it off and on again.
I mean, that is a legitimate way to solve a lot of problems in tech.
Yeah.
The electrons get all scrambly.
Yeah.
They need to take a break and lie down for a bit, and then they can stand up in the straight lines and march in the rows that they need to.
That's my understanding.
That's literally it. That's why it works.
We had a power outage at the Moonbase the other day, and several things, like during a stream, and several things were not working when we came back online. And then we were like, Paul, help. And
he was like, turn it off and on again?
Yeah, every single time that was the problem. In the defense of myself and the other people who called Paul for help.
Who were much better at, like, if it was me, it'd probably be like, of course you're calling me for help. And I'd be like, look, it's not my fault. My family has a goblin curse that makes me bad with technology. You just have to deal with it. But you are competent.
In my defense, the place where you turn things on and off was different. One of them was literally in the Go XLR routing. Was just unchecking and rechecking a box.
Oh, that's rude, though.
Yeah, I found that incredibly disrespectful of the Go XLR.
That doesn't even turn the electrons off and on.
No.
The irony is, of course, turning it off and turning it back on is what happened during the power failure.
Right? So you'd think when everything turns back on, it should be like
happy and fresh.
It should be like raring to go. But
Wow.
For some reason, it doesn't work that way. Oh, well. Hey, if you want to stop our power from getting shut off again, you can support us at patreon.com. That's not what happened.
No,
something fell in the lines.
Yeah.
We're paying our power bill fine. But you can make sure that we can continue to pay our power bill fine by supporting us on Patreon or becoming a member of this YouTube channel. Member shout-outs at the end of this video.
Alternately, if you want to shut our power off, you can go muck around with some lines, but I'm not responsible for what happens.
The police may have issue with that. So,
Look, I said I'm not responsible for what happens.
That's true.
No takesies, backsies.
Thanks, everybody, for watching Checkpoint. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Modern software engineer John Fonseca, I'm sorry, I was laughing because I was thinking about doing another false start to Paul. Gotcha. And then I was like, don't do that, you asshole. And then I laughed anyhow.
The sex